Okay, I'm back again, and we're gonna go to verse. The Sunday school lesson is Luke 7:1-10, and we're on verse 1. And it says, "Now when he had ended all his sayings," meaning Jesus, when he had ended all his saying in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum. Now it may be pronounced another way, but that's the only way I can see to pronounce it. Okay. In a certain verse 2, in a certain centurion, the centurion is a commander of the soldiers, of the Roman soldiers back then. That's what they called them, centurions, that was over the soldiers. Okay, who was dear unto him, was sick and ready to die. You know, and he didn't look at his position as he had one that was up under him, that one of his soldiers that was sick, and he was about to die. He was ready to die. In verse 3 it says, "And when he heard Jesus," the centurion, when he heard Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews. So the elders of the Jews was like, say, they was leaders over. He was a soldier, so he sent the elders to him. He didn't, feel like he was that. He didn't feel like he was good enough to come to the Lord. It wasn't that he sent them because he thought he was so grand, but he sent them to Jesus, beseeching. Beseeching means begging him. Like you said, "I beseech you, brother, I beg of you." I'm begging, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. So that was his servant that was sick. Some people like say, "Well, I can get another servant." This one here is just, I hate he's sick and all, but we got a war. We got a war that we got to fight. So when we come back, we'll see how this going to end. Let's see if he gonna get better. They must have been giving him herbs or something, and it didn't get any better. So they went to he sent the elders of the Jews to Jesus, and when they came to Jesus, they besought him instantly. They went in there quick. They sought him. They mind wasn't on anything but going to try to see Jesus, trying to get the message over. Sometimes you can send a person out, like your parents could say, "Go to the store and give me a loaf of bread." Well, the child might make 5 stops before they get to the store, but they didn't go straight to the store like the parent had told them. So here it is. He's went to the elders of the Jews, and that was ominous in them to go instantly and find Jesus. Saying that he was saying that he was worthy of whom he should do this. Oh, they were saying that Jesus was worthy of it, letting them know that, they had all faith in him. They had all faith in that his healing, that he was going to heal them. And Jesus, he could have been high and lifted up and everything. He could have had a prayer line going from around the world, but that's the humbleness that Jesus is. Jesus was more humble. God is more humble than man is, because man always want to strike you down right then. But the Lord, he's instant. He has that everlasting love and patience in each individual. I know he had patience with me, because if he just would mark iniquity, I'd probably be the first one that would die and go to hell, because he's just that. He has mercy on who he will. And God is he's the God of humbleness, and he's the God of love and understanding and wisdom and knowledge and peace. But then also he's a God of wrath too, because you can't play with his kindness. That's the way God is. You can't play with him like that. He said his spirit don't strive with man always. He studied trying to give you a chance, and you keep making promises and vows to him. "Lord, if you get me out of this, I won't do it no more." And then when he gets you out, you go back in it to 4 folds and go back in and do it again. And he haven't struck you down yet, but you want him to strike down your neighbor or your friend if they mistreat you. When you done promise the Lord, you're gonna live for him all that you know how. But then when the time comes for you to pay that vow. A promise is a vow. When it's time for you to pay that promise or that vow, and you don't do it, worse things come upon you. You be wondering, well, why is it, Lord? Why are you letting all this? I'm not letting you do all this. You the one brought it on yourself. You keep at praying and asking me to let you out, let you do this. This is a thing that happened in my life before I got saved, and I had lost my job. And I said, Lord, if you give me a job, I promise you I'll go to church Sunday. I'll serve you every Sunday. I'll serve you every Sunday. I got a job that same day. And I told my cousin, I said, oh, I prayed and asked the Lord to give me a job. And I got a job. And she laughed at me. She said, my girl, you prayed. You prayed and got, I said, yeah. And the Lord blessed me with a job. So I had that job for 3 years. And you know what? I didn't go to church. For that whole 3 years, I didn't go to church. The Lord had patience with me. And so as soon as I got my first check, I went and partied the whole weekend. You know, and I was hungover on Monday. I didn't even think about going to church. It didn't even cross my mind. So then I was there for 3 years, and then I lost that job. And then I went back to the Lord. I said, well, Lord, I know I told you last time that if you give me this job, I'll go to church. But I promise you this time, I promise you, Lord, that I will go to church. And they paid me, let me draw out of my check. And I drew some money out of my check that Saturday. And Jesus was not on my mind, okay? So I went and partied again. But it was on my mind because after the fact that he was on my mind, I said, Lord, well, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And so not long after that, the Lord, he made me pay that vow. It was up to me. He didn't make me. It was up to me whether I chose. He brought that church to me. My pastor was preaching in the shopping center, and I had been high on weed and drinking and dropping pills and Johnny Walker Red. I mean, me and my girlfriends, we was just partying all day. That was girls' day for us. And so I said, well, I'm going on a date tonight. I got to go buy me a blouse for my date. So I went to the shopping center, and I gave the sister some money to put in church. She said, why don't you come to church with me Sunday? I said, I'll go with you next Sunday. And you know, some of y'all know I wasn't planning on going that next Sunday because I didn't tell her my name. I didn't tell her where I lived or anything. And she said, well, okay. So I went in the store and got my blouse, and I was on my way out, and I seen the preacher standing there. I said, oh, he gonna try to get me to go to church tomorrow, and I ain't finna go to church. So they stood out there till the store closed. And the lady said, well, we finna close, you got to go. I said, well, let me go on out here and let me tell this man I'll go next Sunday. So he started talking to me about the word of God, and he said, daughter, he said, all respect due to you. And I didn't have no respect due to me. I was high. Might as well say I was drunk. There wasn't no respect due to me. But he said, respect due to you. He said, she said you coming next Sunday. I said, yeah, I'm coming next Sunday. He said, well, you know, next Sunday is not promised to you. I said, I don't know what you mean by that. What you mean it's not promised to me? He said, what I mean is if something happened to you and you should die tonight, according to the word of God, your soul will be lost. And I said, well, why would my soul be lost? I ain't did nothing to nobody. I treated everybody right. He said, it's just because you're just not living for him. And I knew he was right about that. And that caught my mind. That I was high, but that little sober piece right there, it went straight to my mind. I thought, oh, Lord. And then I got upset at him, and I cussed him out. And so I said, well, I'm coming to your church tomorrow. And I'm just going to see just how y'all are, you know. So that next morning, I woke up with a hangover, and I told my brother, I said, tell that man when he come, I'm not here. And he told me, he said, anybody else, I'd lie. But not that man. Have you seen that man? He preach out there in the shopping center every Saturday. Is holiness or is hell? I said, what? And he said, now I'm a rank sinner because I don't know nothing about holiness. I don't know nothing about hell. All I know is I said, I'm going to go to heaven because people been treating me wrong. Okay, so I went. So he told me, he said, no, have you read his van? He don't believe in nothing. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I'm going to go on and go then. And the Lord saved me that same day. So I thank the Lord for salvation. I thank him for opening up my blinded eyes and opening up my deaf ears so that I can hear his word. And then now I see how beautiful God is. And everything that's on the face of the earth, the trees and the sky and the clouds and even dirt. Well, I read in there where Elijah was praying and the Lord sopped up even the dust of the ground. But that's another story. Okay, so we did the first four verses. So I'll be back with you again. Hold on. Okay, bye-bye.